Hello folks, this is Sullla speaking. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Leona. This is taken from our Tuesday YouTube night, so this is a custom game with viewers of the channel on both sides. I'm playing alongside Nox, who's playing as Vayne, Sir Bruce, who's playing as Nocturne, Cole, who's playing as Vladimir, and SS Magus, who's playing as Regen. Then on the other side, matched up against us, are Herkpup playing as Teemo, Arturo Montoya playing as Fiddlesticks, that's quite a mouthful, Drama Easy playing as Morgana, TSI 5000 playing as Alistar, and Akosups playing as Vayne. So as I said, it's a custom game just for fun and a place where we can test out different things. So this video I want to focus on Leona. Leona, generally played as a support, a very aggressive support, and so this video is going to concentrate on this bottom lane pairing of Vayne and Leona. So we'll be mostly keeping the camera focused down here, and I'll have a chance to talk a little bit about Leona. I haven't had a chance to use her in any of my videos yet. I actually did one video where we had a random Leona who was intentionally feeding the other team, which is one of the more interesting videos I've done, but haven't had a game where I actually played as Leona, so we'll go through and we'll see that. Now, we don't know what items the other team has, because notice no clairvoyance for Leona, because she's a very aggressive support. I've decided to pick up Summoner Heal instead. And for those of you who might have seen the video I did a couple weeks ago now when the new Masteries and the new Summoners came out, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Virtually all of my predictions were pretty good in that video, except for one thing. I said that I didn't think Summoner Heal would be very good. And as it turns out, Heal is actually pretty strong, and it works really well on certain champions. A lot of people like to run it on some supports. I've seen a lot of people running it on supports. And I've also seen people running it on certain champions. For instance, Heal is really good on Vladimir as well. And in fact, Cole has taken Summoner Heal on Vladimir as well. Also works really well on Volibear, who's the newest champion as I record this video. So I actually don't really like Summoner Heal, but it actually works quite well on certain characters. And I am going to be taking it here on Leona for this game, because we're going to be trying to play aggressively. Okay, now at the game start, notice our jungler, Sir Bruce, is jungling Nocturne, and he is starting at the Wolf, so we are going to pull the double golems and get the free gold and experience for doing these. If we swap off tanking these creeps correctly, we will take very little damage. Like right now, they're on Varus, and now we want to pull aggression back to me again. So right now, the aggression's back on me, and now Varus can shoot it. So we didn't quite do that right. We did take a decent amount of damage. Yeah, Varus took about 150 damage. That's a little high. We wanted to avoid that. But if you can pull them correctly, you can do the double golems, and by the time the jungler gets down there, they'll have already respawned. So just a little trick that you can do on the blue side of the map in particular. So what about Leona? Well, Leona's advantages are she has a ton of crowd control. She's also quite tanky. Her disadvantages are she deals almost no damage whatsoever, and she has no sustain in lane. So she really doesn't deal much damage. And she does not have a heal, so kind of needs to be played as a support because her base stats are just too low to be played as a solo lane champ of any kind. But without that sustain, you're really gambling when you're playing as Leona. You're gambling that you're going to be able to get kills. So she's a little bit like Blitzcrank in that respect. You have to play aggressively with Leona. You can't just, sort of sit back and trade farm. So we're up against a Vayne Alistar lane. Vayne Alistar, the last bottom lane pairing I tried to feature in a video. And this is actually bad. We'd actually prefer to have a pairing that's not aggressive. But we notice that Sir Bruce has come down here, so I'm going to look to gank. And right there, I'm going to go in. I'll talk about these skills in a minute. But first of all, we're going to go in there and go after Vayne right there. Now the fear coming in from Nocturne. We do have that defensive flash. I use my Summoner Heal in the middle of that fight, and are we going to be able to finish this off? No, we're not going to be able to, but we did get some good harass in there, and we forced Vayne to drink some of her health pots. So not the greatest fight in the world, but it went okay. It would have been nice if we could have gotten first blood there. Didn't quite work out, but we did have a nice little fight, and notice how we have control of the lane right now, which is what we want. Okay, so notice that I started boots and 3 health pots because I wanted the extra speed because I wanted to play aggressively. Again, this means no ward, so again, this is quite risky, but like I said, I'm going to be trying to play aggressively here in this lane. So let's see, I'm going to try to go through and talk about Leona's skills. I want to keep the focus on the lane though, just in case I actually can't remember when there were fights in this lane from when we actually played. But I think we are going to try to catch Vayne there. Yeah, unfortunately, I missed on my skill there. So Leona's skills, her passive is called Sunlight. She marks targets when she uses a skill, when she damages enemy champions. And when you attack a champion that has the Sunlight passive on there, it's a deal buff that gives additional magic damage. So anyway, right here, going to go in jump right out. Alistar's going to headbutt me. Vayne's going to use her condemn on me. So I'm going to take a lot of damage right there. And that probably wasn't worth it. Probably wasn't a worthwhile trade there, because now I'm going to have to drink the rest of my health pots. But was trying to make a play there, even if it didn't quite work out for us. However, Alistar's going to come forward right here, and uh-oh, now here comes Fiddlesticks, so this is trouble right here. I'm in the middle of the team, and instead of trying to get out, I'm just going to try to use my skills, so I'm actually going to die and give up first blood. However, Varus is going to score a kill on Alistar right there, and now Akosups is chasing, and Varus is going to score a double kill right there as Sir Bruce comes in to help at the tail end of the fight. And can we get a good Fear proc? And oh, look at that Fear proc, walks in 100% the wrong direction for Fiddlesticks, but he had enough life that he's going to be able to get out of there. So when I got engaged upon, I knew I wasn't going to make it out. I knew I was dead as soon as Fiddlesticks showed up. So I just didn't burn my flash. I just tried to get off as many skills as I could before I died. So let's try to go through those skills right now, since I haven't had a chance to do that. As I said, Leona's primary function is she's designed to be a crowd control bot, basically. She has a lot of crowd control. Starting with her Q, her Shield of Daybreak. This is probably her best skill. Her next auto attack deals additional damage, deals additional magic damage, and stuns the target. I believe the stun duration increases with each additional point. So it's a point-and-click stun. It is melee range, but it is on a relatively short cooldown, and I believe the cooldown goes down with more points in it. So this is pretty much her best skill, and I'm going to try to max her Q first. Notice that now when I went back, I also was able to pick up a ward, which we were lacking initially, and I also had to get more health pots because, again, lack of sustain in lane. Now, the skill that goes along with her Q, her Daybreak Shield, is her Zenith Blade. That's her E skill. This skill does almost no damage whatsoever. It has one of the lowest base damages of like any skill in the game that I can think of. Projects a solar image of her sword, deals 60 magic damage in a straight line, and if you hit an enemy champion, then Leona briefly immobilizes them and Leona dashes to them. So your basic combo is you use your E, and then that dashes you next to somebody, and then you use your Q in order to stun them. And then her shield goes along with this. This is her W as a shield. When you pop your shield, you gain bonus armor and magic resist. And for 3 seconds, and if you hit somebody at the end of those 3 seconds, you deal magic damage, and it prolongs the effect for a bonus 3 seconds. So in those initial fights, we didn't do all that well, but Varus was able to score the double kill in that last fight because they used most of their crowd control effects on me. And as soon as my summoner heal comes off cooldown, we're actually going to look to go in and engage and fight with these guys once more, because Varus is stronger than Akosup's Vayne here in the Vayne versus Vayne matchup. He has the double Dorans and Berserker Greaves, while Akosups just has double Dorans, doesn't have the Berserker Greaves. So Bruce is also down here as well, so we want to try to look to fight while he's down here. Unfortunately, he's going to be spotted by the Clairvoyance, so that was a nice idea, but not able to do it because the Alistar player on their team, TSI 5000, had a nice Clairvoyance that spotted that. Anyway, we see him heading up here, so I was trying to think, did we want to look to engage right here? Nope, that would have been a moment where we could have potentially tried to go in and fight because Vayne was separated, but actually we decided not to in that particular situation. Then finally, Leona's ultimate, Solar Flare. This is a really nice ultimate. It's actually quite good. Doesn't deal a lot of damage, but she calls down a beam of solar energy, deals magic damage and slows, and if you hit enemies right in the center, it actually stuns them. So it's a skill shot, but it's quite nice. The range is pretty decent. Doesn't deal much damage, but you can stun. So you can, you have a stun on R, you have a brief stun on E, and another stun on Q. Now right here, notice Varus has hit 6 before them, so we've hit 6 first, so now we're gonna go in and try to fight. I'm gonna go in, and right now we're trying to go after Akosups. Is Varus going to have the damage to finish this off? He's got Akosups very low. There's the tumble, and that is going to score the kill, and I'm gonna use my summoner heal there at the end. So again, they used most of their crowd control on me, and I was able to initiate there with my basic combo, Zenith Blade into Shield of Daybreak into Eclipse, and then Varus was able to chase that down. And notice that we used our very narrow window when Varus Nox was 6, when he hit 6 and got his ultimate. And while their Vayne, Akosups was only level 5. We only had maybe like 20 seconds to work with there, but as soon as we saw that, I said to Varus, I was like, hey, you just hit 6, why don't we go on them right now? And he was like, yeah, let's go for it. So that worked out. And now that I'm 6 as well and I have my ultimate, I'll be able to be more effective in these fights too. Also, we did spot Fiddlesticks coming down here with double buff because I placed that ward. Meanwhile, in mid, we see the Nocturne ult coming out, and there's a nice Fear proc, and are they going to be able to finish this off? Cole and Sir Bruce against Drama Easy. Here comes the Fiddlesticks ult, and does Cole have his pool back up? He's going to get feared, and is he going to be able to chase out of here? There is the pool. A little surprised he's going back in instead of just circling around to safety, but looks like he's going to make it out okay. So nicely done there by Sir Bruce helping us out. Meanwhile, haven't looked too much at the other lanes. Let's just look at that briefly. Magus in top lane, 0-0-0, 49 minion kills. Hercpup in top lane, Teemo, also 0-0-0, 41. So pretty even, maybe Riven a little bit ahead right there. Meanwhile, I'm going to take the double golems again, or I'm going to start them, and then Varus is going to come in, and Varus is actually going to take the farm. So again, trying to give that farm to the AD carry. Probably tanked a little bit more damage than I should have. But as a result of getting all those assists, I was able to finish Philosopher's Stone and pick up 2 sight words. So again, Leona, do build her relatively similar to the other supports. It's just you don't have any kind of healing on you whatsoever. So again, the support that I probably compare most to is Blitzcrank. Very high risk, very high reward. On the plus side, if you can hit on all your crowd control, you can actually get kills quite easily if you have an aggressive bottom laner like Vayne. I wouldn't go pairing Leona with a defensive bottom laner, you know, like say Ashe. You need somebody who's going to be aggressive. Anyway, right there, I'm going to pop my shield, and I was hoping to be able to go in and engage on Akosup's Vayne, the other Vayne in this mirror match, because Alistar wasn't there, and that's always a nice time to pick a fight if their support isn't there. But TSI 5000 did come back. Still, let's see, right now, let's see what we're doing. Oh, we were waiting to, we didn't want to look to fight and engage right here because they had creep advantage. They have more minions than we do, and even though the minions did get nerfed in a recent patch that they do less damage to champions, we still don't really want to pick this fight until we can at least equalize their numbers. In terms of the items, it's almost dead even on the two sides. Varus is up the Vampiric Scepter, but that's it. Otherwise, we're almost dead even. So we, we weren't really in a great position to fight right here. Didn't really have much of an advantage. That summoner heal is, getting relatively close to cooling down, and when that's the case, we can look to maybe force an engage after that. Here though, gonna pop my shield and then gonna go in, and notice I do hit the Zenith Blade. There is the stun, and there is double stun. Notice the second stun coming in from my Solar Flare. So Akosup's is going to use his cleanse to get out of it, so he's actually gonna survive because he had cleanse. But if he didn't bring that cleanse, he would have died there. So again, that is the strength of Leona. E into Q. You hit the slight stun with E, then a real stun on her Q, and then into the Solar Flare, and I actually was able to hit all those skill shots, and you saw how easily we were able to wrest control of this lane. And so right now we're going to push while Akosup's is back at base healing, because he is not going to be there. So even though we didn't get the kill, we are going to push this wave to the tower, and we're going to deny these minions to the Vayne player laning against us. So that was a good fight, even though we didn't get a kill right there on our part. Pretty well done, and as I said, if Akosup's hadn't taken cleanse there, he would have actually died in that fight. We're also getting in some decent push down here, so let's look at the farming stats while we have a minute. Varus knocks 76 minion kills, does have the 3 kills already from those early fights, and that's significant, against Akosup's 68. So Akosup's is keeping up quite well in minion kills, just doesn't have the champion kills to go along with that because of these fights. Meanwhile, Sir Bruce has gone through another run of his jungle. Notice how he has the red buff. He's almost finished, and it looks like his ult is back up again. So we were like, hey, you know what? Let's look to engage again here. And notice my ult is already almost off cooldown. Solar Flare's on a pretty short cooldown. So if we can get some kind of initiate here with Nocturne sitting right there, we can look to dive right in here and try to make a play. So right there, I'm going to use the Solar Flare. Didn't get the stun, but did get the slow. And right there, I did manage to get the stun on my Q, on my Shield of Daybreak. And then that's going to score a kill. And now with 3 of us here, there's not a lot that Alistar can do. He is going to pop his ultimate. Is he going to be able to make it out of here? He was not able to chase out of there. And I did actually use my summoner heal in that fight. I actually didn't need to use it. That was a little bit of an unnecessary usage. But we were diving that tower, and I wanted to be safe. Now we have 2 options here. We can push this tower. We can kill this tower if we want to. But instead, we're going to go for Dragon, because Dragon is generally worth more than the tower. And we'd almost rather leave the tower there to eat all these minions. And with us having control of this lane, taking the tower isn't as high of a priority as claiming this first dragon. So that was just when we had a choice of which of the 2 to take. We thought it was just a stronger move in that position to take dragon, because like I said, the tower will eat minions, and with us being stronger in this lane now, we shouldn't have too much trouble controlling this. Now, why am I using my shield here? Well, we wanted to push the lane. We wanted to see if we could deny a second wave of minions to a Kosups at the tower, but as it turns out, actually, we're not going to be able to do that, and he's going to be able to farm all of these minions. And doing a nice job. He might have missed one, but I think he got almost all of them. And they actually did have a ward in this brush, but I was able to recall out of there before they were able to do too much with it. Okay, so back to base right now, and on this trip back to base, I picked up a Heart of Gold, some more wards, and then an Oracle, because I had seen their Alistar player, TSI 5000, doing a nice job. He was buying a lot of wards and warding up the map, so because we got that dragon, because we got those earlier kills, I was able to take the surplus gold I had and convert it into an Oracle and try to shut down some of that map vision. See, he's got another ward in his inventory, which is good, which is nice play on his part, but because he's warding, I want to try to get an Oracle if I've got enough early gold and to try to shut that down. So anyway, now we're ahead in this lane. We're in real good shape here because we've gotten those kills. Varus is 302, which is quite strong. And Kosups, again, keeping up quite well in minion kills. Although we're going to equalize, we're going to get a little bit further ahead here. Notice how I'm trying to hit each minion once to try to make it easier to last hit. While that was going on, Sir Bruce, our Nocturne player, went to top lane, and together with SS Magus, our Riven player, able to get a kill on the Teemo player. Meanwhile, here I am taking out wards, and there goes one. And also, like I said, notice how Leona's Q, more points in it do reduce the cooldown, so this is definitely her skill that you want to max first. Her Shield of Daybreak is probably her best skill. Her Q, her Shield of Daybreak, and her Solar Flare, these are pretty much her best skills. Just a shame that this is a melee attack, and doesn't have any range on it, but point and click stun on a short cooldown is always real nice. Anyway, so we're going to look to engage right here again, but unfortunately, notice I missed the Zenith Blade right there, and I do have my shield on right there. There's the Solar Flare. I kind of miss, unfortunately, not the best. I only slow. I don't get a stun off on either one of them, so that means we're not really going to be able to continue fighting. But we're playing aggressively. We can continuing to take control of this lane, and that's what we want to do. If I had used my skill shots a little bit better there, we probably would have gotten a kill, but the problem was I missed on the Zenith Blade, and then I missed on the Solar Flare. Still, like I said, on a relatively short cooldown, only an 80-second cooldown, so you know you can use this, and if you miss on it, you don't have to feel too bad. It's not like that Amumu ult, which is on cooldown forever when you miss. You know, you can take some chances, try to hit it in some fights, and you know, the cooldown's already half over already. Meanwhile, going to take out another ward and then reward Dragon for ourselves. So that's 2 wards now I've been able to kill. And denying vision, quite key, of course, to anyone who's played this game knows that the ability to deny vision is huge. And what that also sets things up for is if Sir Bruce wants to come back down to our lane, they won't be able to spot him coming because we keep taking out all their wards down here. And we've already, like I said, killed the 2 of them. So right now, we're ahead 7-1 in a pretty comfortable position overall in this game. Varus is quite strong. Cole is quite strong in mid as well, although Drama Easy is keeping up pretty well. It does have the 1 death, but the difference in the game, Sir Bruce has assisted on a lot of these kills and has really been helping out the lanes. Right here, while they're backed up to their tower, there's not as much that we can really do. We kind of need them to push out in order to do anything. However, we do have Sir Bruce coming in here, so if we can get a Nocturne ult, we can look to dive them, look to go in. And I actually used my Shield of Daybreak a little prematurely, or Eclipse actually. Thought that this was their shield. Used my Eclipse a little bit early. So now I'm going to wait for that to come off cooldown, and once it does, I'm going to look to go in again. Let's see, just need to hit. There is the slow right there, and in comes Nocturne. Notice that a Kosups goes to cleanse it, and so that cleanse is going to allow him to get out of this. However, we are going to congregate on Alistar and be able to take that tower. And once again, I used the Summoner Heal in that fight. Again, probably didn't need to use it, so maybe a little too premature. Maybe could have saved that for for when we really needed it. But at the same time, we were diving that tower. So anyway, again, Kosups, want to give credit. He's used his cleanse quite effectively. He would have died in that fight if he had not used cleanse. He used his cleanse to get out of my Solar Flare. Again, I missed the stun. I only got the slow, but I did manage to slow both Vayne and Alistar in that fight. And then here, I'm going to recall and head back to base. I think I was going to check for wards on the river, and they didn't have any. Now, while that was going on, Arturo Montoya, who is the Fiddlesticks player, did go to top lane. It looks like he helped get a kill on Magus, our Riven player. So he is up there in top. And it's almost a shame that Dragon's not back up, because while Fiddlesticks is sitting in top, we definitely could, go take that and have a free Dragon. Anyway, though, we have good ward coverage in their jungle. This is now going to be the critical spots to ward here on the river and then here in the jungle. If we can keep wards in these 2 spots, then Varus and I can push up here in bottom lane in relative safety. In the meantime, I went back to base and I got cooldown boots and then some more wards and also a couple more health pots. Again, lack of sustain. And now watch how slowly I actually kill these wolves. Look how long it takes Leona to kill anything. One of the biggest issues with Leona and why she's not all that viable is she just doesn't deal any damage. Her base stats are really low, and it's something that I wish Riot would tweak just a little bit more on her base stats, slightly more damage on some of her abilities, just because she really deals almost no damage whatsoever. She can't, and her passive even requires somebody else to be with her. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but her Sunlight requires an allied champion to deal damage to a target. It's basically the same passive as Lux, except that somebody else has to trigger it. Leona can't trigger it herself. So anyway, meanwhile, Cerberus has now come back down to bottom lane, and notice that Alistar is in all kinds of trouble. He's going to get condemned into the wall, and he's actually going to pulp his ult, but there's just nothing he can do, and he's actually going to end up getting killed there. And of course, they don't even have the tower here, so when they come down here to farm, it opens things up and makes it relatively easy for us to chase. So poor TSI 5000, I don't think he's played that badly, but we've just really been, you know, targeting this bottom lane, and with Akosub's Vayne having that cleanse, he keeps taking the brunt of the damage. Anyway, right here, going to go in on Fiddlesticks. We're able to jump in on him, and we are going to score that kill, and Magus is actually going to teleport in, which was a bit of an unnecessary teleport. Appreciate him coming in, and in fact, Dragon is up, so, you know, he can join us for this Dragon fight, but with him not being there, little Badger Teemo is going to get a lot of push up in top lane, and yes, that is Badger Teemo, and since this is a replay, I can actually adjust the screen so you can see him. Isn't that cute? Can't buy that skin anymore now. It's out of the skin. Out of the store now. It's been retired. Okay, anyway, we did take Dragon while that was going on. It was an unchallenged Dragon fight, so it didn't feel too compelled to watch us taking that. So we have taken the first 2 Dragons, which is pretty key. And we have just had really solid control of bottom lane throughout this game. In particular with Cerberus coming and helping us out, coming down as Nocturne and ganking. We've really had a pretty strong control of the lane. And at this point, we're basically out of the laning phase, and we're really starting to enter the team fighting phase. So there goes another tower in mid. Now, we did lose our tower in top while that was going on. Hercpup's Teemo taking it. And like I said, that was why that teleport was maybe a little bit overly aggressive, because it did end up costing us that top lane. But of course, we did get the dragon while that was all going on. Anyway, Varus got binded underneath the tower, but it looks like he was okay. He did score a double buff at some point in time. I don't know if he picked up the red buff naturally or if he killed someone to get it. Can't remember. In the meantime, now that these towers are starting to go down, we're starting to get a lot of control over their jungle. And with that Oracle, I can continue to clear wards, although I haven't seen any lately. But we're just starting to take more and more control over this game as we continue to take down objectives on the map. Now, meanwhile, Teemo up here in top lane, so we're going to try to come after him. Let's see if we can go. We have Nocturne here, and that Nocturne ult is back up, so there we go. Going to initiate with that, and then I'm going to go in on the Zenith Blade. There is the stun with Shield of Daybreak, and that's going to be a pretty easy kill for us. And again, felt a little bad for Hercpup. That's not him making any kind of mistake. That's just other parts of the map getting in trouble and then coming to his lane and ganking him. Anyway, same thing here. Cole is being attacked by the bottom lane in addition to Drama Easy's Morgana. And oh, look at that binding right through the wall. And that is going to be a dead Vlad in a hurry. Summoner heal or no summoner heal. As soon as that, yeah, I was going to say as soon as that Morgana ult finishes triggering, he's going to go down. So that was an awful nice binding, although Cole did say running in a straight line for the win when it comes to dodging Morg binding. So he could have done a little bit of a better job, but it was a nice binding. Credit to Drama Easy for that one. So going to score a kill there. And in terms of the game right now, Varus Nox and Cerberus are really the strongest members of our team. They've picked up 8 kills between them and another 7 assists. And I've managed to assist on 7 of our 11 kills. So most of the action has been in bottom lane thus far. And fortunately, we've been able to dominate that lane. As I said, taking Leona as a support is very much high risk, high reward. Either it's going to go really well for you or really poorly for you. And it's hard to say what that will be before the game begins. Anyway, we're going after Drama Easy's Morgana, but we're running into these Teemo mushrooms as we go along. And right there, I'm actually going to hit on the stun perfectly that time with Solar Flare. But Morgana is quite tanky and does have her spell shield. So although we are going to chase this and we are going to finish that off, I'm going to get feared by Fiddlesticks under the tower. and I'm actually going to get taken down there. And now here comes TSI 5000's Alistar, and this is turning into a bad fight very rapidly. We kind of need to get out of this before it goes any worse. And unfortunately, I did lose my Oracle there. So was that worth it? I'm not sure. I am the support. Ordinarily, I would say trading support for AP carry is worth it. But because I had an Oracle, I'm not sure that it actually was in that particular situation. So that was an aggressive dive. And like I said, Fiddlesticks responding quite well and was just there on the spot to pick up the kill. Then Cole went down to bottom lane and engaged with Ecosup's Vayne, and he actually ended up dying in the 1v1 fight, and I really didn't see what happened there either during the game while we were playing or on the replay because, again, no life bars when it's outside the field of vision, and I wasn't watching there during the game. Okay, I didn't have enough gold to buy back an Oracle, which again is a pretty big deal, really. But I was able to pick up Shirelia's Reverie, so that's more cooldown reduction, health and mana regen, quite nice, and of course that movement speed boost is really great for initiations, and that's why everybody is buying Shirelia's Reverie in the game right now. All kinds of champions, supports, tanky champions, it's just so good in so many ways because it gives health, gives sustain, and the movement speed boost active is really nice if you can remember to use it. Okay, now for the fun time, watching Leona kill minions. There we go. Gonna use Shield of Daybreak. Notice that now it's down to a 4-second cooldown, so that's a pretty decent stun on a 4-second cooldown, which is quite nice, and a stun that can't be dodged in any way. It can't be dodged because it's it's melee and it's instant. Unlike some of the other stuns where, maybe you can see it coming and like a Taric stun, maybe you can see it coming and tumble away or something. Anyway, here, going to back off. I see Vayne and Alistar here, so going to play real defensively. We do have other people helping us out, other people coming down on the river. So if they stick around for a little bit longer, we can engage and go in on these guys. But it looks like they know that Sir Bruce and Magus are coming because they're going to try to get out of here. And probably should have been a little bit more proactive in using Solar Flare there. I might have been able to trap some of them. But I'm on my way now. I really shouldn't have stopped to go for those minions. And unfortunately, Alistar is going to break the tether on that fear. So we're not going to be able to chase him down. And could have played that one a little bit better. Could have been a little bit more aggressive. Could have used Shirelia's, and we might have been able to get some kills there. Still, we're in a very comfortable position. We're in good shape here. We need to ward that brush. There we go. Again, it would be nice if I still had that Oracle to be able to check if they have any wards here or not, but don't have it. We are going to take their blue, and then I believe that Dragon is respawning. We did take the timer when it last respawned, so we're hanging out around here, sort of waiting for this thing to pop back up. And I believe it should be pretty soon. But maybe I'm wrong again. Maybe we did just take it. I guess I haven't been paying close enough attention on this replay. Anyway, their team circled around here. We were hoping that they would try to run through here. If they had run through here, we were kind of in this brush, and we would have been able to finish them all. We would have been able to get a couple kills there, I think. In any case, again, the hilarity of watching Leona try to farm minions. Leona is very, very bad at farming minions. It's like, oh, all that time and effort, and then Cole walks up and just hits E with Vladimir, and they all die to his Tides of Blood, or whatever that skill is called. So, the frustration of playing as Leona, right? Anyway, yeah, Leona's a really fun champ to play as. She's a real nice champ, but like I said, here's the dragon right here, and I'm waiting because I know that their team's going to be coming, trying to see if I can get the drop on anyone, but nope, looks like they didn't run. They did not try to contest our dragon. As I said, Leona, oh, look right here, notice they're in this brush, but they don't realize that we can see them, so there's the Solar Flare, and that is a perfect Solar Flare. Going to hit two of them, get off the stun. We're going to jump all over Drama Easy and finish him off, so that's a very easy kill. Now TSI 5000 trying to come in here. He's going to use his ultimate. He's going to flash. I'm going to chase after him right here, and right in the middle of this fight, let's see, a lot of action on both sides. I'm going to head out of here. Here comes the Fiddlesticks ult. We just need to finish him off. And let's see, now we just need to back out of this fight because we're taking a lot of tower shots, and Ikosups is doing a good job here, but at this point we really should just back out. We've just gone 3 for 1. Unfortunately, Varus did get killed, so we're going to go 3 for 1. And again, at this point, the best play is to back off, maybe get in some points, some shots on the tower. Again, we are ahead 3 for 1, but here we're going to make a mistake. So watch this. All we need to do is just take down this tower and then back. But notice Cole's going to go in and start fighting, and then I feel compelled to go in and help him because he started fighting. But Cole's going to die, and then I'm going to die because I'm on low health. And then Sir Bruce is going to get condemned into the wall. And wow, was that ever a mistake. Triple kill for Ikosups, and he ended multiple killing sprees. So he actually just got 5 kills. He actually just got 4 kills in that fight because he got the kill on Varus as well. And we just gave Vayne about 2,000 gold right there, which was really not good. So all of a sudden this game, which was a total stomp, has, you know, sort of, I wouldn't say equalized or anything, but their team now has a very, very strong Vayne. Notice that Akosubs has never stopped farming, 200 minion kills to Varys' 206, and he just got 4 kills there, so he's going to be really, really strong. And that was just a mistake on our part. There really was no reason to go, you know, charging in there like that. Cole said he thought that my ult was up. He thought that I was going to re-engage on Vayne. I was not expecting to re-engage on Vayne, and when I saw Cole use his pool and dash in there, I felt like I had to jump in to support him. But in all honesty, we picked a really bad fight there. And now Akosubs has gotten super strong. Now he's got now he went from Zeal, just having a Zeal, to a Phantom Dancer plus a pickaxe. So he got a lot stronger. And right here, Varys is actually going to get binded by Morgana, and he's going to get killed very easily. And now here comes Akosubs again, along with Drama Easy. I'm going to miss on the Solar Flare, and I used my Zenith Blade to dash in, and that might have been a mistake right there. Probably not the best idea. Now Akosubs is going to flash after me. He's going to get the kill. But fortunately for us, Sir Bruce is going to clean that up, but they still just went 3 for 1 in that fight, which again, really bad, and Akosubs is just single-handedly changing the flow of this game on his part with all these kills on Vayne. So very, very nicely done on his part right there. And we have to be a little bit careful at this point, because we're not so, even though we've played quite well to this point, we're not so far ahead that we can continue to keep doing this. But fortunately, Sir Bruce is in position to defend this tower, and at 815, he's very strong as Nocturne right now. He actually just spell shielded that binding, so pretty nice play on his part. So anyway, I'm about to revive. I bought an Oracle before that last fight. I drank the Oracle, and I used it for all of, you know, maybe 30 seconds before I died again. So that was not the best Oracle that I've ever bought. But yeah, we need to do something about Akosubs' Vayne. The rest of their team not really doing, you know, not to be offensive, but not really doing much of anything so far this game. But 9-4-1 on Vayne with the Bloodthirster, the Phantom Dancer, and possibly a Last Whisper by the time that Akosubs goes back and buys again. We, you know, we're going to be in some real trouble here if we're not more careful about engaging with their team. Down there, Herky Pup doing a good job. He took down another tower, but here comes Varys, and he is going to pop his ultimate. Going to use his ultimate right there. And does he have a Quicksilver Sash? Yes, he does. So here I come in, and oh, didn't even get an assist on there. I was staying up here. I was trying to cut off Teemo's line of retreat, and as it turns out, Varys just killed Herk Pup's line of retreat, killed Teemo before I could even get there. So, oh well. I would have liked to have at least gotten an assist on that, but to be fair, Varys did do all of the work, so I can't feel too bad about that. Anyway, like I said, our key objective in any of these fights that's going to be happening is Akosubs' Vayne. He is, I would say, maybe like 70% of the damage for their team, and the rest of the damage is coming from Drama Easy and Herk Pup. I mean, we do have to worry a little bit about the Fiddlesticks ultimate, but Arturo Montoya hasn't done that much in this game. He doesn't have a death cap yet. When he gets a death cap, he'll start being really scary. So he hasn't quite reached that point yet. But we definitely need to take out Vayne in any team fight that occurs. If we can take out Vayne, we'll be in good shape. If not, then Vayne will probably kill us all. That's kind of how it works, because Vayne does that true damage when she has her silver bolts running. Anyway, I'm checking for wards right here, trying to see if we can get them here at Baron. But notice right here, in a lot of trouble. Fortunately, that Dark Binding from Morgana is going to miss. Otherwise, that would have been a dead SS Magus right there, our Riven player. Now, Cole is bottom lane. He's heading up here. Needs to come up here for a possible Baron fight. But looks like they're not all there, because Teemo is up in top lane. And that's a bit of an interesting Teemo build, going for Nashor's Tooth first. I have seen that done, but I think there might be some stronger options as far as that build goes. Anyway, right now, I believe we're waiting on Varys Nox to come back from base. Let's see, what has he picked up? He also has Bloodthirster, Phantom Dancer. So this is the same Vayne build from our two sides. Meanwhile, while that's going on, we're actually going to go in on Teemo right there. I was able to hit on the Solar Flare, and we're going to continue chasing, and then Sir Bruce is going to get that kill. So I wish I had been a little faster to get that initiation, but used Solar Flare to get the initiation, and then Sir Bruce got the fear effect. And uh-oh, here's Alistar, here's Morgana. We're in a little bit of trouble, but Sir Bruce is going to once again spell shield that Dark Binding. Now I'm going to go in. Don't really want to engage on Alistar, but he actually blocked my Zenith Blade. And here comes the Fiddlesticks ult. It's not the best Fiddlesticks ult. We're going to be able just to avoid that. Meanwhile, Okosups is chasing after me, and that's trouble. I need to try to survive right there. Zenith Blade, there is the stun. It's going to be cleansed by Okosups, and now I just need to try to survive. There's the Summoner heal, and I'm just going to try to survive and get out of here, but unfortunately I fail at that. Probably should have just continued running up to the top. So while Okosups did kill me while that was going on, the rest of our team killed Alistar. And with 3 dead on their team, and myself being the only one dead on our team, we are going to be able to clear up this Baron very easily. And that's going to help us out quite a bit. Not even so much because we take Baron. We don't really need to take Baron that badly. But the fact that we deny them the opportunity to take Baron themselves kind of removes a lot of their chance to come back in the match. Anyway, I thought I did that battle pretty well. Because I have all this crowd control, I want to jump on Vayne as the biggest source of their damage, which is exactly what I did. The one big mistake was at the end of that fight, when I was real low, I should have popped Shirelia's, and I should have just dashed out of the fight, and then I would have been able to live, and we still would have killed Vayne. So I could have survived that fight if I had played it a little bit better, and I should have used my Shirelia's in that fight. So when Speaker watches this video, he can be reminded, as he always says, remember to use your Shirelia's in these fights. Meanwhile, the other 4 members of our team are pushing middle lane. I'm trying my best to get there, but I'm a little bit behind the fight, and we were able to take that tower in middle lane. Now we're going to look to steal their jungle, so see their blues up and dragons also up. So again, once you push a lane to the tower, then you can back and grab stuff in their jungle. And for this game, we don't really have a true blue buff user because Vladimir is our AP champ, so we've been giving blue to sort of random champions throughout the match. And then now, I've already gone back to base to buy, but the rest of our team wants to use that Baron Gold for something, so they're actually going to recall. And I was like, oh, I might as well recall too. In terms of items, I did pick up an Aegis of the Legion. This is better on Leona than a lot of other supports because Leona is just naturally tankier than a lot of the other supports. And the health, the armor, the magic resist, the aura is always really nice. But Leona is going to be in the middle of the team fights because most of her skills work at melee range. So getting a little bit of extra tankiness in that team aura is quite good on her. Again, in terms of skilling order, I did max my Q first. Of course, I put points in my ultimate whenever it's available. And then I maxed my shield second because it gives me more bonus armor and magic resist whenever I put more points in it. And I really do need that extra armor and MR if I'm going to be diving into the middle of their team. It gives me 70 bonus armor and magic resist right now at max rank, which is pretty good. That'll take me into the range of where I'm not a complete pushover. And then again, Leona's natural tankiness. Notice how I do have a decent amount of health. I'm going to max out at about 3,000 here. Now, granted, that's with Shirelia's, that's with Aegis, so I do have quite a bit of extra health coming in, but still, she's a lot tankier than, you know, say Soraka or Sona or somebody like that. So, relatively tanky. And then E, Zenith Blade, this is a 1-point skill. You want to point in this at either level 1 or level 2, but after that, you don't want more points in it because it literally deals no damage. It's one of the lowest damaging skills in the game, as I've seen. Anyway, we spot the Teemos over here, out away from their base, and I'm not exactly sure why they're so far away from their base, so everybody's going to jump on Drama Easy's Morgana, and there's Varus going to use his Quicksilver Sash, and they're going to chase that kill down quite easily. I'm still back behind the fight because I keep hitting Teemo Mushrooms. There is the Shirelia's, and right there, going to hit the slow on Teemo. Don't know if it was 100% needed, but hey, at least I'm doing something in these fights, right? And Varus is going to finish that off. And now again, still behind the rest of the team, apparently trying to get into these fights, but not fast enough. Trying to get in here, trying to catch up. Oh, I miss on my Zenith Blade on that Alistar. Meanwhile, Magus is chasing down Okosups, going to just stick on him, and there's the Riven ultimate. And so going to score more kills there. And I felt like I really wasn't in that fight. I felt like I was out of position there, which is probably because I was out of position there. And I could have been a lot more useful in that fight. But our team was far enough ahead that it looks like it didn't matter. Sir Bruce, really strong this game. Just did such a nice job of ganking lanes. And really what I wanted to highlight was our strength in that bottom lane in this matchup. Just stacking on the crowd control effects of Vayne with her Condemn, with all of Leona's various stuff, and also Nocturne with his Fear effect. That worked quite well for us in bottom lane. So we are going to finish off the match there, take the Nexus, and that's going to be the end of this one. So a Leona game for you guys. First game with Leona that I was able to put up here on YouTube. So let's finish this one up. Look at the stats. Okay, here's the end game screen. My stat line doesn't look great, 1-5-15, but overall I did think I played okay as Leona. I did make a number of mistakes, could have played better at some points in time, but I did, I think, decently using my crowd control effects, and we were able to dominate that lane. But much credit has to go to Varus Nox for playing very solidly as Vayne once again, and especially to Sir Bruce with his jungle ganks. Nocturne's been nerfed so many times, but as long as he has that ultimate that still puts the darkness on the map, or should I say darkness, whatever the voiceover gives you, as long as he still has that ultimate and can jump onto people and use his fear effect on them, he's still going to be a strong jungler, and I think you certainly saw that in this match. We were able to go after the bottom lane again and again and just use all our various forms of crowd control, and that allowed us to dominate that. I thought Akosubs did a nice job using his cleanse. His cleanse got him out of a lot of situations where he would have died otherwise. And if you notice, Varus picked up a Quicksilver Sash, so he even had double cleanse at the end of the game, so that he could continue fighting during the team fights. But we did sort of pick on TSI 5000. Over and over again because he didn't have that same ability, and we were able to kill him quite a few times. So again, apologies to Alistar for picking on him, but Vayne would use her cleanse and tumble away, and then he was the most convenient target for us to pursue. Anyway, elsewhere on the map, I mean, Magus ended up with a strong stat line. Looks like he did okay in top lane. Cole looks like he did a very solid job in middle lane as well. Just the one big mistake we made was us all diving Akosubs Vayne in top lane, I guess about 2/3 of the way through the game, and that almost was enough to put them back into the match, but Akosubs just needed some of the other lanes to do a little bit stronger in order to carry that game, and it just didn't happen, but he played quite well overall as Vayne too. So overall, there's another bot lane pairing for you, Leona and Vayne. Another strong, pretty similar to Vayne and Alistar. Again, a matchup pairing with a lot of crowd control, an aggressive lane. Like I said, Leona is a very aggressive laner, and you want to put her with an AD carry that deals a lot of damage. So don't go sticking her with Ashe or somebody who's going to play real passively early on in the lane. If you're going to take Leona, then you need someone who deals a lot of early game damage. So she works pretty well with Vayne. She works pretty well with somebody like Caitlyn, but somebody who's going to be front-loaded in terms of damage, in terms of how the game goes. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll try to have some more stuff up soon. Until then, take care.